We are still keen on Germany's DFB Pokal as the quarterfinals is around the corner. In football, it is easy to be intimidated by the top flight teams, but as fate would have it, new entrants do sometimes turn the tables with their patience, perseverance and self-belief.
Borussia Dortmund are out of the competition. St. Pauli take all the spoils.
It is therefore a tight affair this Tuesday, 1st of March 2022 at 10:45 p.m. in a match pitting Union Berlin against FC St. Pauli. Watch this spectacular duel live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. KBC, your true sports partner.
Gone away, an angel in the sky now, and I shine my light up for you, for you. Hey, the morning came, and my wings took flight. I rise. See, I'm hurting, but not broken. Wave my troubles bye-bye, 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 bye-bye now. We're in our side, bye-bye, bye, bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Can't come for you. Love how you do what you do. Touch me right, treat me good. Rude woman, love how you rule. You make it back. I never wanted you to go nowhere. Baby, come back here. I know you're with her and I'm with him, but let's forget about them and start all over again. 'Cause me without you makes no sense, and you don't need nobody.
What do you want?
You're a cheater.
Pinky, were you thinking you would divorce Jack and then raise the baby on your own? Is that it?
Pink, it's my baby. So think about it. If I gave up on Pinky and the baby and continue seeing you, what kind of father would I be?
Get out. Come on, get out.
God, Shannon.
Keep abreast of the developments live from the National Assembly and the Senate.
On our members of parliament.
The questions.
When is the construction expected to commence?
The motions.
Beg to give notice of the following motion.
The debate.
Will as many as one of people say aye?
The statements.
A statement on an issue of general topical concern.
The petitions.
Order number 4, petitions.
Stay tuned to KBC Channel 1 and Radio Taifa for live proceedings from both houses of parliament from Tuesday to Thursday. Live, uncensored, unedited. KBC, your national broadcaster.
Ili kupata skiza tune ya Sitoki Jikoni kwenye simu yako, dial *811 *816 hash.
We, umeingiaje kwa hii jikoni?
Wewe achana bwana, wewe ujui tulitokea wapi. Acha hata wewe toka hapa.
Wacha upuzi yako hiyo. Toka nje bwana.
Hii jikoni niko hapa ndani. Na nitakaa hapa and make decision.
Wacha maneno yako bwana, toka nje bwana. Wewe unajua tulijenga hapa watu wawili hii jikoni.
Wewe kwa wakati nilikuwa naandikishana contract ya kufanya kazi kwa hii jikoni.
Wewe toka bwana, wacha.
Kupata skiza tune hiyo ya Sitoki Jikoni, dial *811 *816 hash.
Mundos divididos por una sombra de traición.
It's you that I love, and I love you with all of my heart. I only love you and nobody else. And I think that's what's most important right now.
You're going to separate when I say so, and only then. And you know what? I want you to stop getting me in trouble with your son Julio.
What do you want?
Why did you come?
Because I wanted to stop you from committing bigamy.
What?
Mariela is the most wonderful woman I've ever met in my life. Does that answer your question? Look, don't mess this up for us too. Not only have you abandoned your family, now you're turning your back? Lying heart.
To all our prospective candidates, are you an aspiring candidate in the upcoming general elections? Do you want your agenda and manifesto to reach your voters effectively? At KBC, we have the most comprehensive and credible online platform that has profiles of all prospective candidates. Log on to www.kbc.co.ke/2022 aspirants and let Kenyans know more about you, your past achievements, your manifesto, and your development agenda once you get elected to office. What's more, the website is easy to navigate. We will create your profile, post pictures and short videos with your campaign messages at affordable hosting fees. Log on to www.kbc.co.ke/2022 aspirants today and establish your brand authority as we lead towards the forthcoming general elections.
A very good afternoon to you. Many thanks for making time to join us here on Channel 1 Lunchtime News. My name is Betty Kiptum and Susan Thuku is my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Now we begin with a story on vandalism, and the government has increased security vigilance at the coastal region to address the challenges of vandalism on critical infrastructure installations. Coast Regional Commissioner John Elungata says security agencies have stepped up patrols to reduce incidents of vandalism of public infrastructure.
Coast Regional Commissioner John Elungata says the vandals target Kenya Power infrastructure, rail network and water pipelines, and roads infrastructure, which are all an act of economic sabotage.
Sisi katika pwani tumehakikisha kwamba ile biashara ya chuma, zile chuma kukuu ama scrap metal, haiendelei kulingana na ile amri ya rais.
Speaking while on a visit to Taita Taveta County, Elungata said enhanced police patrols and community involvement in the fight against vandalism and scrap metal business have significantly reduced the incidents of vandalism.
Wakati tunakubali watu haribu miradi ya serikali, ni hasara kwa mwananchi. Mwananchi anaumia sana, nchi inarudi nyuma badala ya kwenda mbele. Kwa mfano, tuking'oa vyuma vya reli, train haitatembea, watu watakoseshwa safari na mambo kama hayo.
He said the government is serious about charging treasonous persons found culpable of vandalizing critical development infrastructure.
Hundreds of residents from Mlolongo in Machakos County have called on the government to intervene in a row over a piece of land in the area. The locals claim the land is being grabbed by a group of unknown private developers.
The land is said to have been set aside by the defunct Mavoko municipality in the 1980s as a public utility land. The dejected residents now claim that the private developers have begun fencing a perimeter wall on the 17 acres.
These are public lands, na mtu kusema amechukua title, tunashindwa alipata aje. Shamba bado haijawekwa title. It's a public utility, tulipewa na kaunti ya Mavoko wakati ilikuwa inaitwa municipality. Na hizo document zote, stakabadhi zote tuko nazo.
Hiyo title deeds zinasemekana zinatolewa katika title katika public utility, zinatoka wapi? Hiyo ndio jambo sisi tunajiuliza, kwa sababu public utility haitoleangu title deed.
They also claim to have obtained an injunction stopping any construction work at the piece of land, but the developer and the local police officers have ignored the court. They now want the Director of Criminal Investigations and the other government agencies to intervene and safeguard the public land.
Order kwa polisi imekuwa ni kama karatasi. They don't give it even value. Ile kitu tunashindwa ni wakati gani order kama imetoka kotini maaskari wataitii.
Athi River Sub-County Police Commander Anderson Njagi, while speaking on phone, urged the agitated parties to seek legal redress.
So we are appealing wale watu wanaushika, wale wanasaidia wananchi wazalendo waweze kuingililia, especially Land Commission. Also kama president atafikiwa na hii maneno, tungeliomba pia ingilie, kwa sababu ile kitu tunaona hapa ni kitu ambayo ya ajabu sana.
Trucks overloaded with sand have been impounded at Sofia area along Thika Garissa Highway. In an organized operation between Kenya National Highways Authority and the police, the trucks were also found without requisite number plates. The drivers, however, managed to run away, leaving the trucks packed with construction materials.
According to Axolotl Enforcement and Highway Unit Officer in Charge John Geshohi, the operation was enabled by virtual way bridges that Kenya has erected in key transport corridors along Thika Garissa Highway to clamp down on overloaded trucks.
All of these trucks you are seeing here, they are supposed to carry 26,000 kgs. But the least amongst these trucks that we've managed to intercept and detain today, if you add the risk had 45,000, that is 45,900. That means the overload is 19,400, and the highest that had a lot of the load is 53,400 kgs. That tells you that this vehicle had the overload was 27,400. That would imply it is a vehicle on top of the other one.
During the operation at Sofia, 13 trucks were found on the wrong. The drivers, however, managed to escape before the officers got to their vehicles. Some of the truck drivers reportedly attempted to stage unrest to interfere with the operation, but were repulsed by the police.
In this particular case, we shall charge the drivers for not having number plates, for driving motor vehicles without number plate, without insurance. And then we also charge the driver for the overloading, and the owner will also be charged for the overloading and allowing a vehicle to be driven on a road without a registration plate.
Authorities say the Thika Garissa Highway has been in a dilapidated state, courtesy of heavily loaded trucks. The government is spending in excess of 2 billion shillings to fix the road.
The other thing also is that we have a design period. On how much we intend the roads to serve its purpose. But due to overloading, it's reducing our roads daily by daily until we are having now roads which are not even durable for less years, which as per design they were supposed to fulfill that also.
The impounded trucks were moved to Kidhimani police station. Gishoke Washira, Lunchtime News.
And Chief Justice Martha Koome has challenged advocates to minimize application seeking adjournment of cases in a bid to ensure administration of justice to vulnerable members of the society. The CJ was speaking at the Supreme Court as she presided over admission of 114 lawyers to the role of advocates.
114 lawyers have been admitted to the role of advocates by Chief Justice Martha Koome. The CJ, who presided over the ceremony together with the Registrar of the Judiciary, representative of the Attorney General's Office and the Director of Public Prosecution, urged the newly admitted advocates to address the justice gap by ensuring justice is administered to the vulnerable members of the society on time.
No, we have a big problem of communication, and you are coming in to bridge that gap of helping our people to talk to each other and find solutions to the problems that they create, because they are capable of finding solutions to the problems that they themselves create.
She stressed on the need of keeping abreast with the law and urged the advocates to avoid unnecessary case adjournment in order to curb delayed delivery of justice.
We are also opening opportunities for our people to access justice through the small claims courts, which is a game changer. We have now opened 11 small claims courts all over the country. We are hoping to open some more, and probably by the end of the year, 100.
Of course, I'm very much optimistic, and I'm very much ready to give all it takes.
It is a very momentous occasion for me and for my career, so I'm very excited at what the future holds, and it's just the beginning, so I encourage more people to go for it.
The newly admitted advocates now join the group of other 20,000 advocates who have been admitted to practice law. The CJ has challenged the newly admitted advocates to embrace professional ethics as they administer justice to vulnerable members of the society. Reporting for Lunchtime News from the Supreme Court in Nairobi, my name is Frederick Mwingi.
Thank you, Frederick Mwingi, for that report. Now, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has been urged to bar anyone with questionable integrity from contesting in the August general election. Activist David Kimengere says IEBC risks exposing itself to litigation if it fails to uphold the law. He further says that Kenyans must ensure that all corrupt individuals are not allowed anywhere near public coffers.
I will mobilize Kenyans to ask for the lights, because I am a Kenyan and I have raised the issues which I have before has brought in fighting, na ndio nilikuwa nauliza kama hawataangalia shughuli hii ya nimelace ya integrity ambao nyani ni wala wakibadilisha msitu, nitamobilize wa Kenya tuitishe haki yetu through all organization here or international, kwa sababu hii ni haki yetu. Wakichidwa kuleta, I will initiate personal persecution kwa IEBC, kwa sababu yeye naona tu anaita wala walifanya makosa ya 2017, amefunga macho what can happen in 2022 after election.
Of communities residing in Moyale constituency, Marsabit County, has pledged to come up with a formidable team that will change the current political leadership in the region come the August general election. Led by a Nairobi-based businessman, Adan Sheikh Saleh, the residents said they will vote their own instead of just following what they termed as a political wind.
It was a homecoming ceremony that also served as an endorsement for Adan Sheikh Saleh, a businessman behind the Marsabit County Deputy Governor's position at Moyale Baraza Park. It is here where a section of elders, clan and professional in a closed-door meeting agreed to craft a new political formation to replace the current leadership.
We want to come together as Marsabit community so that we need to put a lot of conversation into the skewed allocations of resources, perennial marginalization of certain communities, so that we have one Marsabit.
The residents claiming the past leadership has been giving empty promises in every general election.
For us to get stability of peace, it is about leadership. It is about inclusivity. It is about resource allocation. It is about slot allocation in terms of employment. Once all these things will be sorted out, peace will be found in our borders of Marsabit County.
Sasa hatununuliki, hatuwezi kuuzwa. Tumekataa kuuzwa. Kura yetu ni mtu ambaye anatutegemea na yeye atutegemee ndio tutamweka.
Kwa mwaka huu solution ile tunayotaka ni kubadilisha. Tunataka mabadiliko ibadilike ndio tupate pengine vile ile tulikosa tupate sahi. Mabadiliko ndio sahi tunaitaka.
The leader leaders also taking the opportunity to campaign for ODM leader Raila Odinga's presidential bid.
The political phenomena of Marsabit County is that the top seat we are taking the direction of His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to stand counted with the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya, our 5th President Raila Amolo Odinga.
In politics, Mwingi West Member of Parliament Charles Nguna now says Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has the full backing by the Cambo community in defining their political future. The legislator said the party has authorized Musyoka to hold talks with other like-minded leaders in order to come up with a strategy on how they can jointly form the next government.
Speaking after launching a water project in Mwingi West constituency, Mwingi West legislator Charles Nguna said Wiper leader and OCA principal Kalonzo Musyoka has full control of the Cambo vote and that any decision he makes towards 2022 would be highly welcomed. He urged the Cambo community to stay calm, especially at this time when various talks are underway to secure a better position for the next government.
We are sure he is going to make proper deals and as OCA coalition and OCA fraternity.
Elsewhere, the UDA party in Narok County has suffered a major blow after one of its key campaigners defected from to join the Azimio la Umoja team. Mara Ward member of County Assembly Kipapa Kirokor, together with a host of his supporters, defected the party on allegations that the party leadership had favorite candidates.
Watu wapya wakaja katika nyumba hilo, waka hijack process, wakaenda kufanya mikutano yao ya boardroom Karen, wakatujagulia viongozi vile wanavyopenda. Mimi nilikuwa nawania kiti cha ubunge wa Narok West, msimamo wangu haijabadilika.
He pledged to support ODM leader Raila Odinga for presidency and Moitalel Ole Kenta, who is vying for the gubernatorial position in the county on Azimio la Umoja tickets.
Our governor is Kenda.
Yes.
Because we had a governor who had been fighting for and he has been actually cornered. Akapangwa aende aunge Patrick Ndutu na sisi wengine tumeamua kusimama na pande ya serikali ama Azimio.
And former Rarieda Member of Parliament Nicholas Gumbo has challenged his competitor Siaya Senator James Orengo to stop stifling multi-party democracy in Nyanza. Gumbo claims Orengo has been calling for the sidelining of politicians allied to the other party under the Azimio la Umoja umbrella, terming it as a selfish move that might backfire.
Those who are at the forefront of multipartyism are from Siaya County. It's the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, it is Raila Odinga, it is James Orengo. In fact, I am shocked that people like Orengo are now advocating for single partyism within Kenya. The first person to practice multi-partyism in Kenya is James Orengo.
And the Deaf Empowerment Society of Kenya has partnered with the Coca-Cola Foundation to equip some 15,000 members in 5 counties with entrepreneurial skills. The group, drawn from counties of Embu, Meru, Migori, Vihiga and Nyamira, will receive training on finance management, business development, capacity building, self-esteem, as well as skills and knowledge on job hunting.
The desk director of communications and public relations, Mercy Jeremy, said the training will enable the beneficiaries to establish and operate sustainable small-scale businesses for self-reliance.
We give them a chance to rely on themselves and work for themselves and as well as their families.
She said the 5 counties were picked owing to the high number of people living with various forms of disability.
And these counties have been selected because due to their high numbers of persons living with disabilities, and Desk and Coca-Cola aim to economically empower them to be self-reliable and get rid of the culture of self-reliance among deaf people in Kenya.
One of the beneficiaries and an official of the deaf community in Embo, Purit Kangendo, said they suffer from a myriad of challenges in life, including few education and job opportunities due to difficulties in communicating with others.
People view deaf people as if they can't do anything. They are just there to depend on others. You should also accept our condition. We are born, yes, deaf, yes, but we have the ability to do other things.
Jelis Aladi for Lunchtime News.
The national government has pumped in 2.4 billion shillings to implement mega water projects in northern Kenya. This is in a move aimed at ensuring there is sustainable water supply and sanitation program targeting various towns across the county.
Despite security concerns in northern Kenya, the government has continued to invest heavily on sanitation programs targeting various towns across the region. Among them are the Mandera water and sewerage projects funded by the African Development Bank together with the national government to the tune of 2.4 billion shillings. According to Northern Water Works Development Agency CEO Andrew Rage, the projects are part of the Kenya Town Sustainable Water Supply and Sanitation programs targeting various towns across the country.
The sewerage project is about the overcapacity of 6,000 meter cubic per day. And it is constructed in the Mandera town. It involves 50 kilometers of sewer lines and 10 number stabilization ponds.
A similar project is also ongoing in Marsabit town. The project is operational in 6 counties of Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, Marsabit, Samburu and Isiolo.
Our pipelines are laid about 65.5 kilometers, and with this new project, I think we are able to reach out to each and every household and help them get water at their houses.
The project, which is expected to be completed in the next 3 months, will go a long way in ensuring there's sufficient and steady water supply in Mandera County.
There's been a bit of interruption due to insecurity. For some time work was not going on, but the government has been determined, and right now the work is proceeding.
Mandera County Commissioner Onesimus Kiatha appealed to the public to utilize the water and safeguard the equipment once the project is completed.
For many years, people in Mandera never knew what was a sewer line. Now, a lot of sewer pipes lines have been laid down, the lagoons have been dug, and the progress is good. And we hope that by mid-June,
Now, a section of leaders from Kiambu County has faulted some politicians for what they term as lack of respect to the head of state. Led by the advisor to Kiambu Governor, Reverend David Kariuki, the leaders called for political tolerance as the country heads to the August 9th polls. They urged the political leaders to exercise sobriety and decorum while on their campaign trail. In the meantime, the leaders lauded President Uhuru Kenyatta for revamping the Jubilee Party.
Na kitu ya kwanza mimi nataka niwaambie, nyinyi hamuwezi kurudi kwa hizo vitu zenu. Lazima mjue ya kwamba watu wa Kikuyu, watu wa huko Mandera.
IEBC, the Kenya National Examination Council, they have to approve all things. T-PAD, they have to use the cyber caves, and therefore that is why I thought we should bring the Wi-Fi in all schools.
We'll be able to teach, we'll be able to research, we'll be able to get materials straight from the internet, and we'll be able to deliver material easily and comfortably, and the teacher can also handle many students. You know, there is crowding in public schools. The teacher may be able to handle different, one class separated into many at the same time.
Borders now, more than 350 people have reportedly died so far in Ukraine as Russian troops take up positions just 30 kilometers away from the capital, Kyiv. The city, however, remains in Ukrainian hands and a two-day curfew there has been lifted. Meanwhile, Russian and Ukrainian officials say they may embark on negotiations in coming hours.
The city of Chernihiv in the northeast has faced heavy shelling from Russian troops overnight, but remains in Ukrainian hands. Russia's defense ministry has admitted its forces have suffered losses during its invasion of Ukraine, having claimed for days that it had suffered no casualties. Negotiators for Kyiv and Moscow are arriving in Belarus for peace talks, though President Volodymyr Zelensky has warned that he does not expect the discussions to yield results. Meanwhile, reports overnight suggest that Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko is preparing to deploy some of his soldiers to join the Russian invasion. Ukraine's military claims the pace of Russia's assault has slowed despite Moscow's move to shift its nuclear forces to a high alert footing. For Lunchtime News, I am Edward Kabasa.
That is where we take our first break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far. More news including business and sports coming up.
This is bad. This won't cover that amount.
Windsor, don't you know you're tearing my heart to pieces?
That's enough!
I can smell her perfume on you. Go take a shower.
You think I wanted this?
That's a lot of money. What's going on?
I only want Windsor. I love him only. I will never ever love anyone else but him.
I'm so sorry, Pinky. I came here without bringing my own nightgown, so I borrowed yours.
Mundos divididos por una sombra de traición.
It's you that I love, and I love you with all of my heart. I only love you and nobody else. And I think that's what's most important right now.
You're going to separate when I say so, and only then. And you know what? I want you to stop getting me in trouble with your son Julio.
What do you want? Why did you come?
Because I wanted to stop you from committing bigamy.
What?
Mariela is the most wonderful woman I've ever met in my life. Does that answer your question? Look, don't mess this up for us too. Not only have you abandoned your family, now you're turning your back. Lying heart.
Pues sembrando el veneno y la ambición.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Ndio maana mimi mkeo niko hapa. Kwa hivyo fanya nilivyokuambia.
Anayepeana uhai ni Mwenyezi Mungu, sio wewe.
Una uhakika?
Jana mbona hukurudi nyumbani? Nilikusubiri usiku mzima, sijalala mimi.
Huyu mtoto ni wa Kate, sio wako Zari.
with us. You're watching Lunchtime News here on KBC Channel 1. My name is Betty Kiptum. Let's now do the business news. Coffee farmers will now be able to advocate for better production and sourcing of coffee directly from policymakers and agencies following the launch of the Machakos Coffee Platform. The new system, let's get that story.
In Kenya has dropped from 130,000 metric tons in 1987 to the lows of 36,000 metric tons in 2020. This has been attributed to, among others, a disconnect between farmers and the rest of the value chain.
So what the platform is doing is to try to create a platform where all these people can sit together, the county, the leaders, the input suppliers, the finance people, and discuss as one, with one voice.
When we bring our numbers together, the little coffees that we have, we'll be able to increase the volumes, and once we have the good volumes, then we can be able to see how then do we talk to the consumer.
Machakos County, for example, is behind its peers, producing a kilogram of cherry per tree. Experts say the county with over 36,000 farmers has an opportunity of getting to the national average of 2 kilograms per tree. To achieve this, the call has been amplified towards special interest groups like women and the youth to boost production to embrace coffee farming.
So that we have more young people who will develop an interest, who will be supported to continue growing coffee. We also want to see women take their rightful place in leadership when it comes to coffee.
I want to take you to KICC, where stakeholders in infrastructure development in Africa are having a conference there. Our very own Hibak Said is on the ground. Hibak, what's the latest?
Thank you so much, Betty. We are here at the KICC for the program Infrastructure Development of Africa. Sorry. Thank you, Betty. We are here for the 7th program Infrastructure Development of Africa, where different delegates from different countries within the continent have convened, and they're going to be talking about matters infrastructure. Now, they want Africa to have connected roads, connected energy in order for the continent to thrive. All of this will be used to lay claim so that we have a free trade area for Africa, and that will help us to grow trade-wise. There hasn't been much that has been going on. We have already had enough plenary sessions to tell us that there will be more talks on trade, especially now that we know for the next 3 days that this infrastructure talks will be continuing. We will have more news in our other bulletins. Back to you in studio, Betty.
Thank you very much, Hibak Said, there following up on that conference on the program for infrastructure development. Of course, a very important a conference where stakeholders from various African countries will be coming together just to ensure that the infrastructure in the continent is ready and good for trade across the continent. We now move on to other news. Nigeria will offer a Naira incentive to exporters of semi-processed or finished goods made at home in a push to shore up the country's dollar supply. The central bank has said that Nigeria is facing chronic dollar shortages, while rising demand has put pressure on the Naira as providers of foreign exchange, such as offshore investors, exited after the COVID-19 pandemic triggered an oil price crash. Here are the details of these and other news making headlines across the continent.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, in a circular dated February 25th, said it will pay 65 naira to exporters for every repatriated dollar through official channels and sold to the currency market, and it will pay 35 naira of funds repatriated for other uses. The central bank said this month that it was hoping Nigeria could reach earnings of $200 billion a year in foreign exchange from non-oil exports over the next 3 years to 5 years. The central bank said this month that it was hoping Nigeria can reach earnings of $200 billion a year in foreign exchange from non-oil exports over the next 3 to 5 years. Nigeria sells oil and cocoa on global markets to dollars but imports petrol and chocolate at higher costs, the central bank said at the announcement of the scheme. Exporters sometimes sell their proceeds on the unofficial market, where the dollar exchanges at a premium to the naira, or keep funds abroad, an action the central bank wants to change. Meanwhile, First Abu Dhabi Bank has made an offer to buy a controlling stake in Egypt's biggest investment bank, EFG, that values the North African lender at 18.5 billion Egyptian pounds, the two banks said. If successful, the deal would give the UAE's biggest lender access to the Egyptian investment bank's strong franchise in the Middle East and North Africa region. It would also be FAB's second major transaction in Egypt after it bought the Egyptian business of Lebanon's bank Odi last year. Finally, the maiden budget tabled by South Africa's new finance minister, Enoch Nguna, carefully balances his desire to stimulate economic growth and reduce borrowing with the need to assist welfare grants to the growing number of poor. Nguna said that South Africa is fast becoming a welfare state, telling Parliament 46% of its citizens are receiving social grants. He is able to show some generosity thanks to a €10.7 billion tax windfall due to a surge in commodity prices. He stressed that this does not signify increased economic growth. Principally, he will give €190 million to vulnerable households.
The development of the multi-billion shilling Naivasha Special Economic Zone will start in 3 months after close to 100 investors expressed interest in the 50-acre parcel of land located near the inland container depot in Mai Mahiu. This is part of the government's efforts to ease the cost of doing business in Kenya and create business opportunities.
2 years ago, the government hived 50 acres from the original 1,000 acres set for an industrial park and donated it to Nakuru County for small and medium enterprises. Furthermore, Kenya offered lower electricity tariffs to attract investors to the Naivasha Special Economic Zone. Among major projects expected on the land and around the 10-kilometer buffer zone includes banks, housing estates, petroleum and hotels which will be served by the standard gauge railway. According to the Chief Officer for Lands, Judilea Waihenya, 77 investors had been cleared ahead of the works, which are expected to change the fortunes of the semi-arid area. Speaking during a public participation forum on the land, Waihenya said that they expected the county assembly to pass the proposed plan for the economic zone in 3 months.
We have held back subdivision, we have held back approval of developments, awaiting this plan approval. So today we know that in 90 days we will be able to present this to the assembly, get approval and start serious works within Mai Mahiu, and more specifically to align ourselves to the socio-economic zone.
Waihenya added that the county had banned any subdivision of land or development around the 10-kilometer buffer zone so as to prepare a master plan, and exuded confidence that the area will turn the fortunes of the area residents due to the number of investments on the ground.
The inland container depot is already up and running. We have appraised all those who are interested. We will be giving them an opportunity to start their works and break grounds. So in the next 6 months, we expect a lot of activity in this area to complement the needs that are already upcoming in the container inland depot.
The inland container depot is operational and the county and the government are planning for water, electricity, housing and waste management. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
Will continue its horticulture export to Russia despite the crippling trade restrictions imposed on the country by the United States and its European allies. Livestock Principal Secretary Harry Kimtai says the government is yet to receive any communications on trade restrictions and plans to resume exports of avocado to Russia on the 4th of next month. Russia is engaged in a major war with its neighbor Ukraine for the last 4 days now. Kenya is studying the restrictions to see how they will affect the country after some Russian banks were cut off from the global SWIFT financial system over the weekend.
Russia to Ukraine and the European countries where we are exporting a lot have put sanctions. We want to see how these sanctions are going to affect us. But for now, we are saying that these sanctions do not touch us. And I so believe that there is now going to be more requirement. There's going to be demand for our fresh produce. And therefore, we need to make sure that we produce more to support those countries that are going to receive the refugees from Ukraine. So in one way, I think it is important for us to ensure that we make sure that our farmers are able to supply on short notice. To ensure that we make adequate.
Field, China's gross domestic product has jumped to $18.1 trillion after registering a growth of 8.1% in 2021. The National Bureau of Statistics has said the economic expansion was driven by the service and manufacturing sectors. Economic analysts expect China to become the world's biggest economy in this decade, trouncing the United States. More details in our international business roundup.
In 2021, consumption contributed 5.3 percentage points to GDP growth, with investment making up 1.1 percentage points and exports 1.7 percentage points, according to the release. The country's total retail sales of consumer goods reached 44.1 trillion yuan last year, up 12.5% compared to the year before. Nationwide investment in fixed assets reached 54.5 trillion yuan, a 4.9% jump over the previous year. China's foreign trade volumes of goods reached 39.1 trillion yuan in 2021, up 21.4% year-on-year. Exports and imports respectively increased 21.2% and 21.5% in 2021. The NBS said the China's population rose to 1.41 billion by the end of 2021. Elsewhere, Russian ruble slumped by 30% against the US dollar, making the banks in the country increase their interest rates to 20% from 9.5%. This comes after some of the country's top banks were banned from using the SWIFT international payment system. The move by the European Union, the United States, and its allies to cut off a number of Russian banks from SWIFT is the harshest measure imposed to date on Moscow over the Ukraine conflict. The assets of the country's central bank will also be frozen, limiting the country's ability to access its overseas reserves. Also, BP is to offload its 19.75% stake in Russian state-owned oil firm Rosneft after Russian act of aggression in Ukraine. Finally, commercial shipment of bulk goods around the globe involving energy and grain transportation has been hindered and disrupted by the escalating Ukraine and Russia crisis. The Ukraine army has shut down ports and shipping routes, prompting five-fold pricing hikes of oil shipments by small and medium-sized tankers. Various shipping leaders, including Maersk and CMA, have announced the suspension of shipments. Freight costs of small and medium-sized tankers represented by Suezmax and Aframax tankers in the Black Sea region have risen more than 5 times a day. Business activities of the Chinese enterprises in Russia are starting to make losses after the exchange rate of Russian ruble depreciated more than 20%. Great pressure in sales is one of the impacts brought by the intense situation of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Chinese iron and steel company in the country has said there are backlogs of the steel inventory, adding that the number of rubles that could exchange for $1 million before the military operation started could only exchange for $800,000 now, a loss of $200,000. The cost increase of the mechanical, electrical, and chemical products, as well as the labor, are the challenges the Chinese enterprises are facing.
In Kenya, Hussein Buro, who is 103 years old from Kilifi County, is calling for the government recognition as a freedom fighter. The then prison warden at Kapenguria prison during the Kapenguria 6 says he was a close ally to the founding father Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. He claims many have been celebrated since Kenya gained independence in 1963, but laments key people who fought for independence are yet to be celebrated. Ruth Wamboi reports.
At Vipingo area, Kilifi County, we meet centenarian Hussein Buro, a retired prison warden. He looks strong despite his age, performing his duas at home. During the Kapenguria 6, he served as a prison warden at Kapenguria Prison. The father of 20 with 45 grandchildren and more than 10 great-grandchildren describes his close relationship with Mzee Jomo Kenyatta.
Kenyatta anakuja hapa Shemaltawa. Alafu yeye naona mimi alikuwa anachunga mabusu huko kwake. Yeye naona mimi anasema itakuwa mtu hiyo itakuwa yeye anajua. Nita mimi.
Hussein narrates how tough it was to see his fellow countrymen suffer in the hands of the colonizers, and worst of all, in his position, was obliged to do his prison duties.
Ile msungu useme bwana nafukuza. Nairobi nakaa mwezi moja napeleka Kamaguria. Alafu Kenyatta alikuwa nafunga Kamaguria. Mimi napeleka mpaka Lodwar.
He narrates how he used to tip off the Kapenguria 6 about what was happening outside the prison, including the dark secrets of the colonizers.
Alafu ile msungu unaona mimi mbaya anapeleka Taraswa. Anapeleka wapi? Kusumu.
Babangu pia alipigania uhuru kwa kuleta ripoti kwa mzee, ripoti gani inaendelea na kila kitu. Alikuwa anawasaidia kivyovyote kwa jela. Alikuwa anakutana na bibi zao wote, sio mama Ngina peke yake, hao wote alikuwa anakutana na bibi zao, alikuwa anawaeleza vipi, ako vipi, unataka vipi, alikuwa anawasaidia namna hiyo. Na hawa ndio walipata uhuru wakaendelea namna hiyo. Na sisi hatukupata faida kutoka kwa hiyo uhuru mpaka sasa.
He remembers incidents when he could be transferred from one prison to another in different locations after he was suspected to be a close ally to the late Kenyatta.
Zaya unatuma simu kwa afisa injaji. Anasema mtu mara moja kwa ile afisa injaji ya Kusumu. Anarudishwa. Ile afisa injaji yeye kwa beleka transfer. Anafuta kazi.
His wife, 96-year-old Hawa Hussein, has a piece of advice to this generation.
Kae mzuri na bwana yako. Sipate maneno ya watu. Kupata shida kaenda yeye.
According to Hussein, he has not received the deserving honor as a freedom fighter even after defying odds of living beyond 100 years on earth. Ruth Wamboy for Lunchtime News.
They have In sports news, the national men's basketball team Kenya Morans has been eliminated from the 2023 FIBA World Cup qualifiers after losing their third consecutive match 155 to host Senegal in Dakar. The Cliff of War Chargers had lost their two opening matches to Democratic Republic of Congo and Egypt respectively.
Balls up, long two is good. Nothing but net. He's such a smooth.
Kenya Morans came into the match aiming to register the elusive win at the qualifiers.
Couple of fakes and he can't get it to go. And they're just bouncing off him. But oh my!
The Cliff of War Chargers, led by foreign-based duo Preston Bungei and Joella Wich, put up a brave fight in the first quarter against the hosts, but went down 28-10.
To pull away early, as I'm sure they'd have liked to have done. Ndoye just steps through.
Powerhouse Senegal went on to win the second quarter 25-19 to send the match into the breather, Senegal leading 53-29.
The big fella and another big dunk by Ndoye.
After resumption, Morans could not match the highly charged Senegal side, losing the third and fourth quarters 21-13 and 26-13 respectively.
Shot clock running down. He's going to have to do something quick. Bounce pass, they need to get it up, and they do. And it's good.
Preston Bungei was Kenya's top scorer with 19 points, while Yusufa Ndoye scored 21 points for Senegal.
They go all the way across. Badio, deep three is good. from one side of the floor to the other.
The loss dimmed Kenya's hopes of advancing to the second phase of the qualifiers.
To Karenga. Shots up from Bungay is good for three.
The second leg of the 2023 FIBA World Cup qualifiers will be held in July this year.
Oh, what a way to get to 100 points on the alley-oop. Worth the timeout and worth the wait.
Limuru-based junior golfer Leo Gitonga emerged the overall winner of the second leg of the Safaricom Golf Tour held at the Limuru Country Club course. The 15-year-old playing off a handicap of 24 returned a total of 22 Stableford points in the first 9 and 23 in the second 9 to produce a total score of 45 points to claim the overall title. Gitonga becomes the second winner to secure a slot in the grand finale of the Safaricom Golf Tour, set to be held in Vipingo Ridge, Kilifi County in August this year. He joins Cyprian Bundi from Nanyuki, the winner of the first leg. Susan Koinange, playing a handicap of 45, garnered 42 points to become the lady winner of the tournament in Limuru. After Limuru, the tournament proceeds to Muthaiga Golf Club on March 12th before heading to the Nyanza Golf Club.
I was really shocked since, you know, this is a big tournament, so I didn't think I would win, but I'm very happy that I did. I was very excited. My family was excited for me. So, yeah.
I teed off with my 4-ball at 8:40 the last morning tee off. The weather was great. I'm not sure about the play, but it was really enjoyable.
On, Western Jaguars and Amira ladies were crowned the champions of the third edition of Parkland Sports Club Hockey Tournament, which was played at the Parkland Sports Club, Nairobi. Amira beat DFG Wolverines 2-1, while Jaguars beat Sikh Simba 2-1 through post-match penalties.
Western Jaguars captain Ivan is optimistic that his team will finish among the top 2 in the forthcoming league, where they play in the Premier Tier.
For the league, I must say it has been a long time coming with the lockdown. So the resumption, as a team, we are really prepared. And our main objective will be to qualify for the African Club Championships and, of course, to win the league.
They were recently crowned as the Mulembe tournament winners that was held in Kakamega early this month. Amira, on the other side, are positive that the 2 years break due to COVID-19 has given the team a chance to re-evaluate their game plan and will secure a good run in the 2022 league.
Our expectations for the league, after the 2 we expect to pick up from where we left, and our target is of course to be top 2, and we are just happy the league is back.
The tournament was used to prepare teams for the new Kenya Hockey League season, which is expected to begin on 5th of March. However, few ladies teams took part in the event, with some citing high registration fees. Peter Obalo, a Kenyan-based international umpire, has called for more women to participate in such tournaments as they help in building their confidence on the field and also in the league participation.